This is the second video of Edgewood Tract. We lived on Spartan Avenue, 751. This is my sister Chris with a gigantic doll, nearly as tall as she is. My sister Helen. I'm not sure what year this is. I'm guessing it's in the early. All these are in the early 60s. There's our dog Sandy. She's probably about 10 years old. Chris is about 5 or 6, and Helen's 7 or 8. The planter box that my dad and his friends, Uncle Bob, built in the hedgerow. Looks like it was just planted maybe the year before. The tree that's there is still there in that yard. It's now over 60 years old, quite a bit larger than that. And the tree over on the other side, over on the east side of the yard, is also still there. Sandy had just gotten a shave. Normally her hair would be longer than that. And that's Mary Sue, a little girl that lived right across the street from us in that house you can kind of see there, yes. Bryant was her last name, and they moved shortly after this. Here's Daddy Con and Chris sitting in the backyard. Although Daddy Con was born in Ireland, he loved baseball. He'd sit out in our backyard and watch the kids play Little League, and just play pickup ball, and then he'd watch the Little League games too. Dad used to have fun with this scene where he'd have the smoke go out of Daddy Con's pipe and then back in. You can see a baseball game's going on back there right now. Chris riding the swing, and here we are. We're getting ready to build a little addition we built on the back of the house, which we called the den. That's Gene Bryant, Mary Sue's older brother, who lived across the street from us. He's maybe 2-3 years older than I was. Watch me go over the fence here in the background. Apparently I'd done that before because I looked like I knew exactly what I was doing. You can see how disappointed Sandy is to be left behind. And there's that's some sort of Little League game going on because you can see the kids are wearing uniforms. Here's Helen and Eleanor Bryant, the other sister of the family that lived across the street from us. Helen and Eleanor were pretty good friends. And here's Dad working on my bike. And this is the bike I got for my 10th birthday in 1960. Apparently it had a front brake. Apparently it was out of adjustment. There's Eleanor there with her little stuffed doll poodle. Here's Daddy Con getting ready to sit back down in his chair and watch a little bit more baseball. This looks like a practice. This kid that's at bat, this next pitch, he hits a pretty good line drive out over into right center field here. And you can see everybody going chasing after it here in just a second. There he goes. You can see there's Daddy Con resting. You can see our foundation for our garage there. Chris playing by the swing. Now this is across the street, just about 200 feet from those last pictures, at 162 Donora Drive. This is my Aunt Norma's and Uncle Bob's house. You can see Kathy standing. Helen's in the laundry basket, and Chris just ran to get the ball, and that was me that went by on the bicycle. Have no idea what year this is, 60, 61, somewhere in there. Here's Kathy, who apparently, that might be Earl Souders just getting out of that car there, Paul and Larry's father. And so here's me showing some of the amazing tricks I could do on a bicycle. Hard to believe, isn't it? It's a wonder I didn't turn professional after that. This is Bill Rogers, who also lived on Spartan Avenue, just around the corner there next to the Burkharts. Some of you may look at these old cars in here and look at them and wish that we had hung on to those cars. Our families had hung on to them. And there I finally succeeded in doing the trick. And that's our house right there, just behind me on 751 Spartan Avenue. Kathy in the pants and my sister Helen in the dress, playing with some sort of rope or scarf or something. And there's Chris there in the checked dress. She's waving at somebody. And this is my cousin Bob Aunt Norma's oldest son. I'm apparently teaching him how to ride a bike. I don't believe I was successful on that day, but I think he did eventually learn to ride a bike. Here they are fighting over a firearm, and I think that's my grandmother. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's my grandmother. I can't get my dad's mother, and Aunt Norma's mother too. There's Bill Rogers playing, what is that called? The mulberry bush, round and round the mulberry bush. And then Bill realized he was on film and had to get out of there immediately. Bill moved a few years after this too, and I lost track of him. He went to Demet Elementary for a year or two. I think he was the same age as Kathy. And here's Bob. He's tormenting animals. Hopefully he eventually gave this sport up and went on to more productive things. He'll have to be the one to comment on that. But I gotta say, this cat is amazingly docile. Most cats, if a baby did that to him, they'd scratch his eyes out. And I guess that was their cat. I don't really remember that cat. And I don't remember that black dog either. I don't know. That's the Burkhart's house right next to it. These are the Middleton girls and the Locker girls. Ronnie, Debbie, Becky, Helen, and Chris. And that's a 57 Chevy behind them. I don't know if that... And here's the Middletons. Ron and Doris and my mom. And you see Dorsey, so she immediately turns around so we can get a good look at the back end of her. So, and now here comes Kim. So apparently we were all very enamored of Kim because there's quite a bit of footage of Kim here over the next couple of minutes. So Kim was born on the last day in 1962. So this would be probably January of 1963. And I can remember Kim... Chris and Helen were pretty excited when Mom and Dad told us that we were going to have an addition to the family. Chris and Helen, as I remember, were pretty excited about it, and I was less excited about it. And I was saying, well, okay, if we got to have another kid in the family, at least it better be a boy. And then, when Kim was born, and it wasn't a boy, it was a little girl. And I'm like, okay, now I'm the only one with 3 sisters. And so I can remember the day that Kim came home from the hospital, this is Helen going over to look at Kim, and we knew that Mom was going to be home when we got home from school. And we were walking home. We were coming down Donora Drive, which is the way we walked home from. We were at St. Chris at this time. And I can remember I was just dragging my feet like, oh no, I got another sister I'm going to have to deal with. And we went in, and I just kind of was pouting a little bit and sulking, and Helen held Kim, and then Chris got a chance to hold her, and then it was my turn. And that was all it took, and I was in love with that little baby and remain so to this day. But I can remember now thinking to myself, gosh, how could you have ever thought that having this new little sister wasn't going to be the greatest thing ever? So I don't know if I've told you that story before or not, Kim, but that's the way it was. So, and now when you watch me pick you up, you're probably going to wonder, did he really care about me or not? So, but I did and still do. So again, we're going to get to see quite a bit of Kim here. Still another minute or two of this to go on. I guess I could have chopped this down a little bit, but Kim was an awfully cute baby, so it'll be fine to have this in here for a few minutes. Now here she goes up into her big sister's arms and back into her cradle. I don't know who these two little boys are. This is our backyard, and that's the concession stand by the field, by Inglewood Field number 1, which a lot of you guys played baseball on. Here's my sister Chris with Kim. So this is probably May, June, something like that. It looks definitely warmer weather. And I'd say Kim looks like she's maybe 6, 7 months old. I don't know. There's a good smile. I don't think I'm the great judge of babies' ages, but there was Sandy. Now you can see in that picture how that Sandy hasn't had a haircut for a while. And here's me, I guess, doing my Frankenstein imitation. So when I look at these whole movies, I think to myself, God, what a goofy kid I was. Helen with her little baby sister, youngest sister, trying to get Kim to say something to the people. Chris was the one for jumping rope. She was doing it a lot. Oh, I can remember she was always jumping rope. And here's the 4 of us with our 62 Oldsmobile in the background. That's the Hoax home right behind us with the awning there. I believe that they were the ones still living there. I'm actually not positive. And here I am giving Chris the thumbs down for her jump roping. Trying to get Kim to react, to smile or do something. But here's Dad teaching all of us how to play Mumbly Pig, I think, is what we were doing. I kind of sort of remember this little episode here. But, you know, babies and knives do go well together. That's me and Kim. And now, Kim, watch out. When Helen and Chris get together and start trying to do any kind of construction project around you, you could be in a great deal of danger. They apparently, neither one of them really has a lot of mechanical aptitude. So, I don't know what she's got in her mouth there, but she's not very concentrating on the job at hand very well. Are you, Chris? Helen, take a bow. Who wants the food more, Kim or Sandy? Always stay near the baby. They're the ones most likely to drop a little bit of food or get it close enough to your face where you can grab it. Sandy was a great dog. I never heard her growl at a kid or anything. Now here's my go-kart. I don't know who that little blonde girl is there next to us. I don't remember. I can't place her at all. And that she doesn't look familiar in that picture either. So that was a little go-kart that Dad helped me build. Mostly I built it out of scrap lumber, and Dad helped me with the wheels, putting those on it. We used to take that over to Springer Hill, but we never really succeeded in going down the hill very well because it would always get going to, if you don't know where Springer Hill is, it was that steep grade over by Sutherland Falls that goes down to the railroad tracks. And we'd take it over there and try to go down it, but we'd get going too fast, too quick, and we'd always chicken out and slow down or drive or run into the ditch. See the bus going by? Who remembers that there was bus service from Vandalia to Dayton back in this era? I can actually remember catching that bus right there in front of our house and taking it down, and we go to Reich's and go to Trike's for Christmas shopping. Who remembers Trike's at Christmas? You can see this is later in the summer. Kim hasn't learned to walk yet, so I'm guessing she's about 6, 7. It's my dad and his mom. And now this is the Gregory family. That's my mom's sister, Eileen. And there's Connie. Connie Gregory. And there's Bill Gregory, and that's Joe's head right there. That's their father, Bill Gregory. I'm not sure what year this is. And there's Dad. And I can't at this moment remember who's older, Mary or Patty. But the baby is the younger one, and then the next older one is also, you'll see her. She's asleep right now, whichever one of you is the older. You'll see you'll see both of them in a little bit here. So they were coming, as I recall, they were going from Texas, from Corpus Christi, where Bill was in the Navy. Bill Sr. was in the Navy, and as Joe, Aunt Eileen. Bill was thinking about drinking out of the bottle and got caught. There's Chris. And they were going from Texas up to Massachusetts. That's Helen there. Bill again. Bill Sr. Connie. Chris. Bill. Aunt Eileen. Connie, Helen, and Chris. Joe. Chris's dress is coming apart, it looks like, and so is her stocking. There's Bill with Bill Jr. Apparently he's been misbehaving, which shouldn't surprise anybody who knows him. And there's either Mary or Patty. I'm sorry, I can't remember which of you is older, and I'm sure that makes one of you happy and the other one not so happy, and there's the younger one, Mary. I'm sure that is Mary and Patty, but I don't know if it's Mary and Patty or Patty and Mary. Here's me. I'm pretty sure this is the same night. Dad, Joe, Aunt Eileen, and that's it. End of the recording of this second part.